This is our first video on complex numbers, and in this video we'll focus on the imaginary number. Let us consider the equation of x squared plus 1 equal to 0, and let us try and solve for x. So I'll move the 1 to the right hand side, and that will become negative 1. So x squared is equals to negative 1. And now I can take the square root on both sides to find the value of x. So x would be equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 1. So what we have learned in algebra up until now is that a square root cannot have a negative number on the inside of it. So this solution for x equals to plus or minus the square root of negative 1 is a non-real solution, or it does not have a solution. But this is not entirely true. The fundamental theorem of algebra states that all polynomial equations have solutions. So if we look at the square root of negative 1, it is true that it cannot be simplified further, and also that this value does not exist on a real number line. But in mathematics, we use this square root of negative 1 as I. And we say that the square root of negative 1 is the imaginary number. So in our example, when we solved for x and we said it's plus minus the square root of negative 1, we effectively said that we have two possible solutions where x is equals to plus the square root of negative 1, or that x is equals to negative the square root of negative 1. But the square root of negative 1 is the imaginary number I. So x is equals to positive I, or x can be equal to negative I. And this is a valid solution for x, even though it cannot be plotted on a number line. And that is the imaginary number. And we use this as an application in mathematics and in physics.